And the first composition before you is broken shanrak. Shanrak is a symbol of family and top of the yurt, Kazakh national home, and white bird in the blue sky is a symbol of life and hope for the best. This composition symbolizes the tragedy of the people who were sent here for 5 or 10 years, like traitors of motherland or enemies of Soviet power. The next composition. On the podium, you will see the map of USSR, and where you can see the dark spot, territory of Karlak in central Kazakhstan, and black flag marks the capital of Karlak, Dolinskaya village. Now we are here, and Karlak had 26 departments in central Kazakhstan. If you pay attention to the walls, you will see the orders about prisoners and orphanages. According to these orders, kids who born in Karlak were sent to orphanages. Karlak had 4 orphanages near to Dolinka village: Dinsky, Salinsky, Asakarovsky, and Kompaniyski. And there is presented the mother of the tower. On the background of the tower, there is Stalin's portrait. Technically, that says that he watches what is happening through this watchtower. And in tourniquets, you will see the personal files of the prisoners who were sent here for 5 or 10 years. And these lamps belong to the 1930s to 1940s years and was found in Dolinka village in 1970s. And the first hall dedicated to the famine in Kazakhstan in 1920s to 1930s years.
Wow.
This hall dedicated to the famine in Kazakhstan in 1920s to 1930s years, and the main reasons of the famine was destructive consequences of civil war, confiscation in spring in 1921, and drought in 1920s. And being saved from starvation, people resorted to cannibalism. There is presented a special report about cannibalism and murder as a cause of cannibalism. And about 1 million people died from hunger in Kazakhstan in 1920s years. And there is presented things used by people in that time. And about 1 million people migrate to the border countries such as Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, and China. And the second famine was started in 1931 to 1933. On the wall, you will see the photos of the victims of the second famine. The main reasons of the second famine was policy of collectivization by Golashevik in Kazakhstan. According to this policy, property of local people were confiscated and people were sent to the labor camps for 5 or 10 years or were executed. In some cases, you will see the documents related to the policy of collectivization. And in 1930, in 1931, about 2 million people died from hunger in Kazakhstan. If you don't mind, we can go to the next one.
berkembang cattle secara slot, tapi tidak jadi karena orang Kazakh harus makan terus dagingnya dan kita tidak tahu makanan lain. Tapi sebenarnya semua ketan yang diambilkan sebenarnya juga majikan karena rasa grace-nya lain. Itu artinya apa? Artinya semua livestock-nya juga majikan.
you will see the copies of the map of Karlak's departments. Karlak had 26 departments near to Dolinka village. And in tourniquets there is presented the copies of the personal files of the prisoners. And the next hall dedicated to the history of creation of Karlak.
Mah selalu mirip manusia.
Karlak, a short meaning of care and a labor camp, was organized in the territory where about 4,000 Kazakh and 1,200 different nationalities lived. In 1931 to 1932, about 5,000 people who lived in territorial future labor camp were sent to the border cities and villages because the government began to build the labor camps and they need to empty place for Karlak. And the first showcase dedicated to the policy of Red Terror. This policy was against the enemies of Soviet power, clergy people, intellectuals, officers, and so on. Firstly, clergy were repressed. On this photo you will see the confiscation of church values, photo of people who were executed, clergy people, and photos of the prisoners. This policy was started in 1918 and idea about repressions belonged to Felix Dzerzhinsky. In 1980s years, about 1 million people died from policy of Red Terror. Next showcase. And this showcase dedicated to the history of creation of GULAG. GULAG, the main administration of the camps, was organized in 1930, and the structure of GULAG had 478 camps. There is presented the map of GULAG, and in Kazakhstan, Karlak and Algiers include two GULAG system. In showcase you will see the photos of deputies of NKVD, People's Commissariat of Internal Affairs, photo of Dzerzhinsky, Yagoda, Yezhov, and Beria. In 1950s, many deputies of NKVD were executed or were sent to the labor camps in 1950s to 1960s years.
So Karaganda concentration camp also one of the Gulag administration.
Yes, departments of
Department of Gulag. Okay.
And the next showcase is dedicated to the history of creation of Karlak. Karlak was organized on 19 December in 1931, and there is presented photo of administration building of Karlak. Now we are here. Was built in 1933 to 1935 by hands of the prisoners, and photo of workers of Karlak, photo of soldiers and things used by military part in Karlak, and photos of the prisoners. All the workers, officers, bosses of Karlak were from Moscow, from NKVD, from People's Commissariat of Internal Affairs. The next composition. There is presented the map of Karlak. From the south to the north, Karlak was about 300 kilometers. From the east to the west, Karlak was about 200 kilometers. And the capital of Karlak was Dolinskoye village. Now we are here, and there is presented the model of administration building of Karlak. And territory of Karlak were fenced with barbed wires, and in the little showcases you will see the documents and things used by soldiers in Karlak. Are original and was found in departments of Karlak in 1970s. The next showcase is dedicated to the objects of Karlak. Karlak had a printing house, officers' house, hospital for workers of Karlak. Many objects are used today. For example, officers' house nowadays it's private house and don't belong to government. And was built in 1930s to 1950s years by hands of the prisoners. And this showcase dedicated to the nearby areas of Karlak, Tazayenka, Sarepta, Samarka, Yesengildy, Karabas, near to Dolinka village. On this photo, you will see the barrack where the prisoners lived and photos of burial places of the prisoners. And Solzhenitsyn's book, Archipelago Gulag, nominated of Nobel Prize, this book about Gulag, about whole system of the labor camps.
Which one?
Archipelago Gulag. And Karlak, Shamkhanov's book Karlak, about Karlak.
This is Solzhenitsyn, yeah?
Yes, Solzhenitsyn.
Yes.
And the next showcase. This showcase is dedicated to the numbers of the prisoners. The first year in 1931, about 200,000 prisoners were sent to Karlak. And in 1931 to 1959, about 1 million people were sent to labor camp in Kazakhstan. There is presented photos of soldiers of Karlak and a photo of black car. In such cars, people were sent to labor camps, and in that time, everybody scared of this car. And a photo of train. In such trains, prisoners were sent to the different departments of Karlak. And Mosin's gun, also used by soldiers in Karlak.
But Solzhenitsyn was not here,
No, he
Not
was
here.
in Moscow.
in Moscow, but he was also detained by the Soviet in Gulag administration also,
Yes.
Solzhenitsyn, but not here, not this camp concentration.
Yes.
Okay.
He was in departments of Gulag in Moscow. And it's called Villa. With help of Villa, prisoners was informed about lunch, dinner, or about execution. It's a piece of the rail. And if you pay attention to the wall, you will see the painting dedicated to Bakhti's rebellion in Karpelynskaya region. In 1930s to 1940s years, in Kazakhstan was about 300 rebellions, and there's presented names of the members of the Bakhti's rebellion. For example, these people were executed, and these people were staying here for 5 or 10 years, like traitors of motherland or enemies of Soviet power. If you don't mind, we can go to the next
Yeah.
slide.
Okay.
And the first diorama shows the barrack where the prisoners lived. Prisoners lived in bad conditions and they were forced to work. There is presented wooden machine was found in Dolinka village in 1970s and made by hands of the prisoners in 1932. On the tables you will see the things made in wooden machine. Also was found in departments of Karlak. Many scientists were sent to Karlak. For example, Lily Palman and Mikhail Tsitialov. Being in prison, they made gas engine and were awarded Stalin's and Lenin's prize, but not released from this camp. But they were allowed to get married and live together. Also famous scientist, researcher, artist Alexander Chizhevsky. He's the author of Chizhevsky lamp and nominated of Nobel Prize. And photos of prisoners who work in coal miners. For example, this lamp, Chizhevsky lamp, used by miners in Karlak and this lamp protects from different illness of the prisoners. And the next showcase dedicated to the famous breeder Anna Lalina. Anna Lalina was sent here for 5 years, like traitors of motherland, because she has the documents about rebellion against the Soviet power. And she is one of those who made new type of cow, Kazakh white-headed cow. For this, she was awarded the Stalin's prize, but not released from this camp. And in photos, you will see the works of agriculture's work of Karlak, and works related to Anna Lalina and Alexander Chizhevsky. The next showcase also dedicated to the famous scientist, Vasily Pustovoy and Igor Fortunatov. Being in prison, they made new types of vegetables, fruits, berries. For example, Vasily Pustovoy made a 40 type of cabbage and were awarded Lenin's Prize, but not released from this camp. And Igor Fortunatov made an irrigation system of Karlak. Karlak had three irrigation systems, Zhartas, Kinkir, and Samarka. For example, Zhartas irrigation system made by hands of the prisoners just 2 weeks. There is presented page of Putyovka's newspaper. Karlak had 2 newspapers, in Kazakh language Zhanazhol, New Way, and in Russian language Putyovka, Ticker. There is presented photos of canals and dams made by hands of the prisoners and new type of grain, cabbage and corn.
Cabbage and corn.
And the last diorama shows the courtyard of Barak where the prisoners lived. There is presented buttering machine and separator for milk. Also was found in departments of Karlak and used by prisoners.
Okay.
If you don't mind, we can go to the next hall.
Okay.
Women and children of Karlak.
This one?
This hall dedicated to women and children, wives and children of repressed officers, clergy people, intellectuals also were sent here. The first year about 2,000 women were sent to Karlak, also were pregnant women. And women give birth in camps, and children were taken away from mother and were sent to, firstly they were sent to home for babies, and after 3 years they were sent to orphanages. Karlak had 4 orphanages: Litvinsky, Bessabinski, Asakharovsky, Kompaniyski, near to Dolinka village. And there is presented bed used by children in Karlak, and you will see the word Stalin. It's like a propaganda of Stalin's ideology and all children who work in Karlak. In the little showcases you will see the names of the mothers and the children who were in Karlak, and letters from orphanages.
Lagunya sedih.
Ngeliat-ngeliat.
Next one.
Lihat mereka menginginkan nih.
Alger. It's a museum in Akhmolinsk region. The camp for dedicated to the camp for women. This hall dedicated to Alger. Alger is a abreviature of Akhmolinsk labor camp for wives of traitors of the motherland. This camp was especially for women, and wives, sisters, mothers, daughters of the repressed people were sent to Alger. For example, a photo of Aziza Ruskulova, wife of famous Kazakh writer, Tura Ruskulov's wife, and wife of Bimbek Malin, Kujamal Malina, and wife of famous Kazakh poet Sakin Seyfulin's wife, Gulbakram Seyfulina, and her son, Ayan. Famous actress Tatiana Kunevskaya, and mother of the famous ballerina dancer Maya Plisetskaya, mom Messia Plisetskaya. And about 18,000 women were sent to Alger, and Alger closed in 1958.
Algiers nearby Astana, eh?
Yes, near to Astana. And there is presented photo albums, books, and magazines used by prisoners in Algeria.
So they were all Kazakhstani. They were all the women.
All the women,
Huh?
yes. Algeria opened in 1937, and women who were in Karabakh were sent to Algeria.
From here to Algiers.
Yes, to Akmolis.
Oh, to Akmola, yes. Akmola, old city, yeah, in Astana.
No, it's a region.
The region.
Astana located in Akmoliska region.
Okay.
Installation of laboratory of Karabakh.
Surprise. Apa ini? Wih, ada orang.
Aku pikir ada orang.
Ya kan?
Halo Pak. Lama Pak. Baru Pak.
Ya, jadi dia memanfaatkan waktunya ya untuk meneliti ya. Hebat juga. Tabel periodik. So,
There's presented installation of laboratory of Karlak. Famous scientists, for example, Lev Gumilev, Anna Lanina, Alexander Chizhevsky worked in such conditions, and scientists, prisoners in Karlak, were given food just twice a day, and if they refused to work, they were punished or were executed. There is presented figure of famous scientist Chizhevsky, Alexander Chizhevsky, and if you pay attention at the top, you will see the model of Chizhevsky lamp. For this, Chizhevsky were awarded nominated prize, but not rulers from this camp. And this lamp cleaned the air, aero-aeronification lamp. Nowadays we use quartz. In that time, prisoners used this lamp.
well, and then?
And now we will go down to the basement, and you will see the installation of different cells of Karlak. And be careful. It's administration building, and it's just installation of cells. Be careful. Barbed wires.
Awas jangan sini. Ada
Kawat sih deh.
ada kawat.
And all the doors in the basement are original and also was found in departments of Karlak belong to 1930s to 1950s years. And through this window, it's called Karmushka. Through Karmushka, prisoners were given food just once a day. For example, in common cells twice a day. For example, in karcer, in punishment cells, they were given food just once a day. And the first hall, it's called karcer, or a type of punishment cell.
Wow. Kaget deh.
Please,
Yeah.
come in. Yes, is that okay? Yes, please.
Wanna get it?
smaller than this installation, and Carter always was cold and dark. Prisoners were sent to Carter if he or she made something against the rules of the camp. He or she was sent for 5 or more hours. And there is presented bucket toilet for prisoners.
Oh, for the toilet ya, only bucket.
Oh, toiletnya itu.
Jadi coba ini aja wadah, ember.
Oh. Ngeri. Diberi ember ke owe ke naon nih.
Dari sini, berarti ditempel mayat-mayat tuh di sini.
Hah? Masa?
Iya, katanya di sini. Katanya Mbak.
Zindan also type of punishment cell.
Tempel mayatnya.
Mayatnya ditempel di sini.
Prisoners were sent here for 2 or more days because in that time Stalin made a policy no religion. If prisoners had religious books, Quran or Bible, they were sent to Zindan, and Zindan located in open air and outside. And this Zindan was filled with water, and many prisoners in winter died in such Zindans. Yes.
Oh yeah, filled with water. My God.
And this Zindan original was found in 2012 was found in 2012, and nobody knows why this type of punishment cell located in Territory of Administration building, because in 1959 all the information about Karwar archival materials were destroyed.
Ngeri ya.
Iya.
Tahun 1920, berarti 100 tahun yang lalu. Saat 100 tahun lalu.
And common man cell.
Hah? Selin biasa-biasa. Ada kasurnya.
Nyenyak tidurnya masih
Gimana?
di atas jerami.
Common man cell. About 40 people lived in such cells, and they were not allowed to speak with each other, and were not allowed to clean their clothes and dishes. Because of this, many prisoners died from skin illness. And in common cells, prisoners were given food just twice a day. And you will see the uniform of prisoners and their specific number on their clothes. And the soldiers of Karwar called them to their numbers. And such cells always was cold and dirty, and many prisoners died in such conditions.
How many people in here?
In such cells, about 40 people.
40 people.
One cell?
Yes, and
40 people.
actually, such cells always was the smaller than this installation, and many prisoners sleep on the floor.
Tapi gedung ini real. Is this real like space?
It's administration building, but for this cell, just the installation.
Ininya nggak sih lagi?
And in 1930s to 1940s years, political and criminal prisoners lived together in the same conditions.
Smaller 40 or 40?
40.
40 kan? Dan aslinya lebih kecil ya? Caplok.
The killer.
Misalnya keinjak gitu, keinjak. Aduh, kayak udah ngobrol gitu.
So this is like hospital?
Yes, hospital for prisoners. prisoners, and
Oh.
among the prisoners were famous doctors. For example, Kolesnikov. Kolesnikov made heart surgeon and saved many lives. And in 1940 to 1945, about 30,000 prisoners were sent to Second World War. And when they come back to return,
Kalau sakit baru dikasih
they
kasur.
lived in such hospitals for 2 or more months. 30% of beds used by officers in Gulag.
Mah, ini darah tinggi.
Interrogation room.
Interrogation room.
There's another cell here. It's waiting
Ada?
box. It's such boxes prisoners waited their turn for interrogation.
Oh, they put inside ya?
And in such rooms in Gulag were held the interrogations, and questions always were the same. And if prisoners didn't want to sign a document, he or she was sent to torture cell. And room for photography and fingerprinting. In such rooms, workers of Gulag took a photo of the prisoners and opened the personal files. Instead, you will see the photos of just the copies of the photo of the prisoners, and the youngest prisoner in Gulag was a girl, German girl. She was 5 years old when she was sent here. There is her photo.
Which one? Wow.
This girl, she was sent
5 years?
Yes, she was sent here for 10 years when she was 5 years old because she has a scar like swastika. And the bosses of Gulag think she was a German spy, and she was sent here for 10 years, but released from this camp after 20 years. Nowadays she's alive and living in Germany.
Oh, still alive? Until now, still.
She's 93 years old.
Oh my god. She's still alive. Oh my god.
And thinks of fingerprinting things.
Ini masih nyala. Iya, jangan harap pakai mesin.
And in such boxes, prisoners waited their turn for interrogation.
Interrogation. So this is the room ya?
Not allowed to sit or stand.
Ini adalah ruang interogasi. Jadi mengingatkan masa lalu nih, ketika diinterogasi.
Tapi tidak begini kan?
Begini. Nih, interrogatornya.
Masih ngetik juga ya.
Sini aja. Ruang tunggu untuk interogasi.
Termasuk yang udah meninggal. Iya, dia tadi bilang skill illness juga.
One of women's cells is just installation, and
For women.
unlike men, women had to clean their cells because they were allowed to clean their cells, and among the women were relatives relatives of clergy people, and they had in their closest religious books Quran or Bible or different religious books. And if soldiers noticed this book, she was sent to Zindan for 2 or more days. And there is presented paintings made by hands of the prisoners, which was found in departments of
Ini drama sih ya. Tapi sedih drama.
Musiknya bagus ya. Settle.
Bagus tuh.
Itu mau apa sih?
It is it was from the
Can you repeat it? Why they sent to Kala? Because there was 5 sisters of people who were against Soviet power. They tried to make a rebellion against the policy of Soviet power.
like opposition.
Yes. And home for babies. In such rooms live the children who were in Kala, and in the window you will see the photo of mothers who were going to breastfeeding their children. And when they came to breastfeeding their children, they were forced to blindfold their eyes because for the children wouldn't not to see the face of the mothers, and women wouldn't not to see the face of the mothers of the children. About 30,000 children born in Karabakh, and about 1,000 children died in Karabakh, and they were buried in the Mother's Cemetery near to Dolinka village. And now we will go to straight. About 25,000 people were executed in Karabakh.
25,000?
Yes, 25,000 people.
So this is the place
It's
to kill them?
Yes, execution.
execution chamber. And
Oh my God.
before 1937, soldiers shoot to the forehead of the prisoners, but after that, many soldiers saw in their dreams the face of dying prisoners. Because of this, after 1938, soldiers shoot to the back of the prisoners.
The back of the prison. So this is the place. Oh my God. 25,000 people? My God. Kill.
Installation of torture cell. Torture.
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 Torture, like investigation, but with
Punishment di bawah.
no, like
Oh. Tempat penyiksaan.
torture.
Penyiksaan.
And
Tempat
this
penyiksaan.
installation of torture cell and it's just installation in Iraq. Torture is carried out on Sundays and Mondays, and these days, next to torture cells, prisoners made their concerts, different performances, because bosses of Iraq didn't want to hear the screams of the people who were in torture cells. And
Ngeri banget ya hidup di bawah komunis ya.
all the stuff in this room are original. Also was found.
It is original?
Yes, it's original and was found in departments of Karabakh. And next to torture cell also were doctor, and next one is doctor.
Di sebelah ruangannya ada performances katanya. Performances. So yang Sunday and Monday waktu di sini ada punishment.
It's doctor's taught yourself. Workers of Gulag wrote in their personal files, like died from illness or died in coal miners in accidents. And
Klam, suram. Suram.
And if you don't mind, now we can go to the second floor.
Yeah.
And be careful.
Pak Alin.
Be careful, barbed wires.
Oh, this one.
We can't afford that.
Nggak capek deh.
The next hall, names and fates.
Oh, name.
Names and fates.
Ini nama-namanya, Pak.
Oh. Katanya sih 127.000 di sini
Wow.
yang ditahan. 25.000 ditembak mati.
This hall dedicated to the famous people who were in prison in Gulag. On this composition in stone, you will see the names of the famous people. For example, son of famous Russian writer Sergei Yesenin's son, Alexander Volkin Yesenin, mother of the famous ballerina dancer Maya Pisecskaya, mom Messeria Pisecskaya, wife of famous Kazakh writer Tura Rostkolova, Aziza Rostkolova, Bimbek Malin, wife Kujamal Malina. And in showcases you will see their photos. And for example, famous actress Tatiana Akunevskaya.
Which one? This one. Tatiana.
Yes, Tatiana Akunevskaya, the famous actress, and she was sent to Algeria for 5 years, and in torture cell, all her teeth broke by soldiers, broke by officers, and after releasing from this camp, she can't be actress anymore because she. Like after prison, they can't be actress anymore.
She was Kajastani.
Yes. And on the walls, you will see the dress of Stalin's eyes. In that time, people say walls have eyes and ears because if person say something against to Stalin, he or she was sent to labor camp or were executed. And on these walls, you will see the names of people who were executed in Gulag. And this red light symbolizes the blood of people who died in Gulag. And in showcases there is presented reports, special reports, documents, things, books used by famous people in Gulag.
The eyes.
Есенин, я помню чудное мгновение, передо мной явилась ты,
So is it?
Kazakh intellectuals.
Kazakh intellectual.
Oh, Napua beda, oi.
This was dedicated to Kazakh intellectuals and represent figures of the members of Alash party. This party was against the Soviet power and all these people tried to make it independent of Kazakhstan, but in 1930s to 1950s years, all these people were repressed and were sent to the labor camps and were executed. On the walls you will see their photos and names, for example, Ahmet Peterson, Mustafa Shohan, Jean Jumabayev, Sakin Sikorin, and so on. And in some cases there's presented the orders, documents, newspapers, books related to Kazakh intellectuals. And if you pay attention to the walls, you will see the fresks also dedicated to Kazakh intellectuals. And the little fresks made by hands of the prisoners and also was found in environments of Karabakh. And this composition symbolizes Kazakhstan, and this barbed wire symbolizes power of Stalinism and its ideology. And regime of totalitarianism.
Ahmad, who?
Peterson.
Also kidnapped here, also prisons here.
No, he was. Yes, he was here and investigators, but he buried in the other place.
Oh yeah, because I saw the picture in Astana.
After Abraham Ansari, the first who made the alphabet, Ahmed Peterson, the person who just completed the alphabet.
So he was here also.
Because all of them were killed by one shot. Most of them linguists,
Yeah.
teachers, all. But Ahmed Peterson opened the school.
Oh dia mencipta itu ya Cyrillic ya?
Yes.
Oh.
Alash, there was a party,
Alas, yeah.
Alash.
The party
And they
against
were
Soviet
the
Union.
members, and they had two types of the newspapers where they are telling about the regulation during the Soviet time.
Soviet time.
And Stalin regulations yang aneh. Ini semua kita belajar di childhood
Oh, iya.
SMA.
Ini ya, sebuah nama-nama ini.
Nama-nama, the poems, the
Oh.
novels. Ya, saya suka itu sedikit sih.
Next was dedicated to the works of the famous artists who were sent to Karlov. All these works are original and was found in.
This is original.
Yes, all these works are original and made by hands of the prisoners. And in Karlov, artists lived in better conditions than the other prisoners because through their works, portraits, posters, they made the propaganda of Stalinism and his ideology.
In Karlov or?
Yes, in Karlov. But artists were sent to Karlov for 1 or 2 years. But for example, political prisoners were sent to Karlov for 5 or 10 years, and many political prisoners were released from this camp after Stalin's death. But artists released from this camp before Stalin's death. All these works are original, also made by hands of the prisoners. And chief's office.
Chief office.
Chief's
Oh.
office.
Kepala kantornya.
Chief's office and its reception, table of On the table there is presented photos, 6 of them. And all the bosses of Karlak were from Moscow, and they present to Karlak for 2 or 4 years. And there is presented photos used by bosses of Karlak, and this was protected from skin illness in that time. And there is presented gramophone, TV, and radio. And this table and chair were chairs made by the hands of the prisoners.
Ini adalah ruang kepala kantor.
Kan konsentrasi. So is this the real? This is real? Is original?
Yes, it's original, made by hands of the prisoners, but nobody knows because in that time, prisoners were not allowed to sign their works. And this painting, it's called Lenin and Stalin found the new places for labor camps. And this painting just imagination because Lenin and Stalin never worked together.
This is the original painting of the prisoners here, but there is no sign, but there is no use also.
Until now, they are still under the Russian.
Komandan camp konsentrasi. Ya? Oh boleh.
Tadi Stalin foto.
Okay.
Dedicated to Karlak subculture.
So what is it?
Subculture. In such halls in Karlak, prisoners made their different concerts.
Oh, concert.
Aku ngeliat ini tuh ada bergerak gitu.
And this woman figure made them famous Russian singer. And they
Dari sini, tuh dari sini kan bergerak. Wah, tapi kaget.
All the songs, dances, performances were about Stalin's and Lenin's ideology. And there is presented costumes, musical instruments, things used by prisoners. The copies of propaganda.
Ini kan kain ulos. Dari situ.
Oh, ini dance-nya Central Cross dan after.
Foto di.
Library.
Oh, library. Oh,
It's just installation and collage. Very specific books used by prisoners in Karlak and Karlak's newspapers in Kazakh language, Zhanazhov, New Way, and in Russian language, Putyovka.
library.
All the books in Karlak were censored and were about Stalin's and Lenin's ideology. And prisoners were not allowed to go private diaries. And figures of Lenin, Marx, and Engels. Lenin, Marx, and Engels.
Oh yeah, Marxism.
And this flag was found in the telegraph of Dolinka village, our original. Library? Yes, because
Rasa komunis.
Stalin made it propaganda.
Tadi, Bapak Putyovka. Tadi newspaper yang dia cerita.
Oh, yang tadi.
Putyovka. Ticket.
Oh, dibaca apa? Newspaper ya?
Yes, inside of this
So inside of this,
Karlak. Where the writers were telling the condition
they can print it.
and figures who just brought inside
It is printed.
here.
Okay. Peter, what did you? Peter said.
Cek sama kakek kita, Mas.
Oh, capek juga. Sudah belum berhenti? So how many levels again? Kereta.
Iya, buat ini Pak yang dideportasi.
About 1 million people were deported to Kazakhstan in such trains. It's called Teplushka. It's just a model of this train.
From where? Deportation from where?
No, 40. 40. And there's percentage numbers of the nationalities who were deported to Kazakhstan from the different third areas of USSR. For example, Germans, about 400,000 Germans in 1941 in time of Second
From
World
German?
War. And Koreans. Koreans, about 100,000, they were deported to Kazakhstan after Russian and Japan war. Chechens, Ingush, Lithuanians, Polish, Ukrainians, Karachayas, Belarusians, Balkars, Turkish,
Turkish also, yeah?
Yes, Turkish.
And then?
Iranians, Crimean Tatars, and Kalmyks.
Iranian.
Were deported like political unviable. The government didn't trust them.
The cruel son of Stalin's policy to let the young boys people deportation from West Ukraine. People had come to Kazakhstan on the first Korean people had seen Korean people. Korean had been brought to Kazakhstan. All German people were fascist supporter. About German were deported to Karaganda region in 1942. All the people had been deported as well as the Karachay, Kalmyk, Crimean Tatar, Balkan people, Greek, Bulgarian, Jewish people, Armenian, Turk. Ini adalah orang-orang yang dari Jerman, dari Korea, dari Turki, dari Iran dideportasi ke sini.
This composition is called Kazakhstan Hall for Different Nationalities, and there is the Marble Shangara, top of the new Kazakh National Hall, and under Shangara you will see the figures of deported nationalities. These people were deported to Kazakhstan without anything, and Kazakh people helped them with property, home, and deported nationalities and people who were in Karlak worked together in coal miners. And many people died in accident in coal miners. In some cases you can see the irons, costumes, miner fields, different deported nationalities.
Bah, sini bah.
Sini harus muka sedih.
Oh, bukan sedih, bukan sedih.
Ya udah.
Udah boleh senyum.
Oh, bukan senyum ya.
Ya.
Musiknya sih ya.
Oke, sudah.
Bekerja di tambang batu bara, mereka yang dideportasi dari Jerman, dari Korea, dari Turki, dari Iran, semuanya. Ya, Ma? Ini berapa jauh lagi nih?
Next spot is gate to the
In days of Second World War.
In 1945, about 30,000 prisoners were sent to Second World War, and one of them was Boris Vasily Ilyich, and he was sent to Second World War. He was sent to Moscow, to Russia, to Moscow, and he died in Second World War and was hero of Second World War. We haven't any documents related to him, but in showcase you will see the gun used by him in 1942. It's a submachine gun. And in 1945, in coal miner number 20 was accident, and about 83 prisoners died. They were sent their photos and names, and it's used by miners in Karlak. And ceremonial costume of miner.
Start getting. Bingung loh. Kurang. Enggak, berarti orangnya tinggi banget. Iya. Wow. Pahanya sampai apa ini?
Separuh badanku adalah kaki kiri.
This is the last.
The last,
Yes. The last one.
Gelas.
Golashak or future.
the future. Okay. Ini adalah Kazakhstan baru. Where is it? Where is it?
It's monument dedicated to the prisoners in Spassk, departments of Karlak in Balkhash region.
In Balkhashli, here, around here.
Yes, around.
So we can go to this place?
To this monument? No, but because this monument located in Balkhash, like Balkhash, so far from here.
Oh,
But in Karaganda region.
but in Karaganda, how far from here?
like about 3 or 4 hours from
4 hours from here.
Yes.
Wow.
And for example, work of restoration work of Mother's Cemetery, located near to Dorinka in Žartas village. About 3,000 children buried in this cemetery. And in showcases you will see the books about GULAG. And these books were sent to Japan, Ukraine, France, USA, Russia, Polish, and etc. And on these photos you will see the guests from the different countries. And if you pay attention to the window, you will see the former officer's house opposite to us, and which was built in 1933 to 1935 by hands of the
Bayangkan
prisoners.
na nila si kakak kita.
Now
Kahit
this is
sinakihan.
private house
Saan
and
nila?
belong to government. And outside you will see the figures of Dzerzhinsky and Lenin.
What building?
Officer's house.
Which one?
This opposite.
This one?
Yes. The little houses in Dorinka village is the former barracks where the prisoners lived.
Gede banget rumahnya.
Iya, makanya tahun 39.
So this is the last.
Yes, it was the last home.
Oh yeah.
Huh?